Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about the group stage results for VCT here in Masters Tokyo. Also, if you are new here, I will greatly appreciate you to like, comment, subscribe. It would really help me. And obviously just a reminder, here are the 8 teams who were a part of the group stages. That being NRG and EG from the Americas League, Foot and Navi from EMEA, DRX and T1 from Pacific, and Attack and Soul Esports and Edward Gaming from China. So first started with Edward Gaming versus T1. This is a 2-1 victory for the side of T1. A very, very close game. And Smoggy and Kang, both of them had the game of their lives. Well, mainly Kang. I'll get to Smoggy later because he also had a game of his life as well at one point. But I kind of felt like T1 really depended on side player. Like, a lot. Obviously, he was the only T1 player to actually go positive, but still they rely so much on side player to make individual plays that they kind of struggled here. Fracture was 13-10 to T1. It was their map pick, so pretty good for them. Haven though was Edward Gaming's pick, and we kind of realized actually how good Edward Gaming are on Haven. I mean, Chicho, he did a phenomenal job. Smoggy, he also did a great job as well. And then Pearl, heartbreaking loss for Edward Gaming here against T1 on Pearl. It went to overtime, and I'm pretty sure it was Zeta. I'm pretty sure he closed it out. Might be wrong, but it was a very much a back and forth game. Edward Gaming also had like a comeback coming into the second half from round 18 to round 23, but overtime clocked in, and it just was not enough, sadly. In the performance though, a lot of 2Ks, 3Ks to 4Ks. Kanka gained 3, and Smokey gained 1 from Edward Gaming, and Sideplayer gained 2, and Carpe gained 1 as well. Next up, NRG versus Navi, and this was an NRG win against Navi. I was really hyped up about this match. I'm really happy. I'm happy it was close. I'll say that. It was very, very close. Obviously, this was Artist versus his old team over in FPX, and I kind of alluded to that in my Pickems video. Navi, I was a bit worried for them since they lost to Foot. They looked a bit messy, and in my opinion, I still think they looked a lot messy in this game. The only person who actually went positive was Segetsu, +8. That's all. Artist, though, he popped off against his old against his old team, +12. Sen went to NRG 13-8. That was Navi's pick. Lotus though went to overtime 14-12. That was NRG's pick, and that went to Navi. And on split on the deciding match, it was a 13-6. It was 13-6 victory for NRG at split, and yeah, it was something. I'll say that. Once again, a lot of 4Ks. Artist and Som, both of them getting 4Ks. Artist actually getting 4, and Cena, Segetsu, both of them getting 2 apiece. 1v2 clutch as well from Artist, and Som from NRG, and Segetsu for Navi. So Navi, they looked a bit iffy. It got worse for Navi. Where they lost, even though it was a very, very close game against Edward Gaming. Incredibly close. A 2-0 victory, yes, but very, very close. Xiao popped off. He carried the team. And Smokey and Kang, both of them did a phenomenal job. Hao Zong just kept getting 2Ks after 2Ks after 2Ks as well, just to help Edward Gaming. Well, Smokey, I'm pretty sure like he did phenomenal on Pearl. Kang, he was phenomenal everywhere, basically, especially on Lotus, like on Bind and Lotus, I think. But it was amazing to watch. But Xiao, he tried his best. I mean, he was trying to win every single clutch that he could, and it was quite depressing. 17-15 on Pearl. 17-15. That's how close this game was. 17-15, and Xiao was a plus 14 KDA ratio with 34 kills. And then on Pearl, 14-12 on Bind. Once again, that's how close it was. It was that close. Obviously, Lotus, there was no... I don't know why I say Lotus, but Lotus was the third map, and Lotus went 2-0. It was crazy. An ace as well from Smoggy. That was very much unexpected. A 1v3 clutch wins as well from Smoggy and Chicho. Everyone from Edward Game kind of just they just popped off. They were awakened, and Na'Vi they went home. This also means that Na'Vi will be in the LCQ. FUT Esports actually made it to champions. I never thought I would ever say that in my life. Next up, though, the winners match went to NRG as they won against T1, a 2-1 victory. A pretty close game, though, either way. Very, very close. Maybe a bit too close for NRG. Psalm and Victor, both of them basically having games of their lives. Artis having a really good game as well. First kills and first deaths, definitely. Lotus 13-11 went to T1. Now we'll T1's picks, so not really too surprising. Carpe doing a really good job there. Bind 13-7, which was NRG's pick, that went to NRG. And then Pearl 13-11, which was the third map. Ben was popping off. He was really trying to make sure that T1 wins this, especially on this map. He did a phenomenal job on this map. Some and Artists, both of them doing a great job as well. And I'm pretty sure Crashes also had a very, very respectable game as well. Finesse also doing really good on Bind. Here's the performance, so 2 aces. One coming from Zeta, one coming from Munchkin. Both of them coming from the T1. And 1v2 clutch wins as well. One from Artist, 2 from Victor, and 1 from Side Player for the side of T1. And for the final one in Group A, Edward Gaming makes it to the grand final. Kang Supremacy, I believe in Kang. What a game that Kang had. And Chichu, both of them having phenomenal games, I just wanted to say. Kept clutches after clutches, amazing ACS scores were from Kang. 323. It was a match to watch, and the match also just finished as well by recording this, obviously on the 14th of June. It was crazy. Carpe, he had a pretty respectable game. Cypher was nowhere, I'll be honest. It was pretty surprising how nowhere he was. But I mean, it kind of just showed obviously that if you shut down side player, T1 just kind of just falls apart. 13-4 on Fracture, which was T1's pick, went to Edward Gaming, and 13-6 on Haven, went to Edward Gaming's, obviously, was Edward Gaming's pick, went to Edward Gaming. This kind of showed me that, Haven and Edward Gaming, both of them, basically unstoppable. Obviously, we'll get into the playoffs as well. I'll do my Pickems probably tomorrow. But, this was I mean, Kang, he was all over the place. Hal Dong was all over the place. Nobody was also all over the place. Shout out to Chichu for almost winning this a clutch, a 1v4 clutch, but despite the views just got there in time. It was very, very close. It was probably maybe like 0.1 seconds or maybe like 0.2 seconds. That's how close it was. But either way, a phenomenal game from Edward Gaming. They did. They definitely won the hearts of everyone. This kind of reminds me of Zeta Division's run. And even Paper X as well, but mainly Zeta Division, because everyone remembers Zeta Division's amazing run. This kind of, this kind of just reminds me of that. I mean, like, obviously, before Reykjavik, back in, like, last year, Zeta Division, Japan, they were kind of maybe, like the worst region possibly on LAN. But then Zeta Division came along and came 3rd place in Reykjavik, I'm pretty sure. Or was it 4th? I'm pretty sure it was 4th. I can't remember. It was 3rd or 4th. Zeta Division, they did a phenomenal job. Edward Gaming, they're looking scary. They are, oh god, their opponent must be horrified about this team. But a lot of 4Ks though. Munchkin gained 1 4K for T1, and nobody Kang and Chichu, both all 3 of them actually gained 4K clutches, and even a 1v2 clutch as well for the side of Chichu. Let's now move over now to the next bracket. And the first one, obviously in Group B, was DRX versus Attack and Soul Esports. I wasn't not surprised that DRX won against Attack and Soul Esports. Never one surprise at all. At least we got to see HFMI. That is how the English broadcasters said his name is HFMI, not Alphabet Man, sadly. So I'm just gonna call him HFMI. Life, yeah. I mean, I was hoping that it was a bit more impact for Life. I mean, to be fair, I kind of said that Attack and Soul Esports was probably going to be maybe the worst team out of all 12 teams. Kind of expected it, especially since they were seeing DRX and RB, he kind of popped off. You know, he kind of popped off. 13-10 on Fracture, which was the pick for Attack and Soul Esports, went to DRX. And DRX's pick, which was Pearl, 13-7. Yeah, I mean, oof. I'll say this as well. I'll say this though. Actually, I'll save it. Never mind. I'll save it onto the next match with DRX, because I have a lot to say about a certain player here. But Yi Qian, I think he was actually pretty respectable. I think he was pretty good. Life also really, really good, especially here on Fracture. Performance-wise, a 1v4 win from Buzz. That was insane. Even a 4K clutch as well. Well, sorry, just a couple 4Ks. RB getting 1, Buzz getting 1, Fox9 getting 2, and Yi Qian getting 1 from Attack and Soul Esports. For the Esports versus Evil Geniuses, it was a 2-0 victory for Evil Geniuses. Okay then. I was not expecting this much of, how do I put this? A dumpster fire, I guess we'll say. A pretty easy win for EG. Everyone from Foot, they just weren't there really. Like, I wasn't really inspired by how they performed. Kiwi was nowhere. Ada Captain was maybe the only player who actually really performed pretty well. Mr. Fallen, he was nowhere. Monch was nowhere. Caraxus was nowhere. Ethan, he did a great job. Busio had the game of his life as well. Split 13-5, EG's pick, and then 14-12 on Lotus, which was Foot's pick. It was a very close game with overtime, and Evil Geniuses still won. Busio had the game of his life, and I'm pretty sure Busio also had the first ace as well of the whole tournament, so that was great to see. But he had the game of his life in this one. And there's the ace from Busio, was from Lotus, and a couple of 4Ks as well from Mr. Fallen and Kiwi, and Busio with 2, and then even a 1v2 clutch as well from Calm and Jorgimo, both of them coming from EG. Attack and Soul Esports though, they lose to Foot Esports. A very close game though. This was actually, I'm pretty sure this was this China's first map win, I'm pretty sure, from Attack and Soul Esports. Might be wrong about that, but it's definitely something at least. It was definitely a stepping zone until Edward Gaming surprised us all to make it to the playoffs. But they actually played pretty well. I mean, Kiwi, he definitely popped off. I mean, he showed up when it mattered. Mr. Fallen also had some pretty good performances. Ada Captain being that very consistent controller as always. He was really good. As for Attack and Soul Esports, they were just kind of nowhere. I mean, HFMI, he was nowhere. Yi Qian, he actually had some moments. Monk also has some moments. Not really Life. I was pretty disappointed on how Life performed. In Buns as well. Pretty disappointing. Haven 13-8 for Attack and Soul Esports though, so at least that was pretty good. Yi Qian doing very respectable there. That was Foot Esports pick. Then Ascent, which was Attack and Soul Esports pick, that was 13-5 for Foot. Not even a competition there. At 13-6, the final map went to Foot Esports. Caraxus, he did a great job there. Performance-wise, though, a bunch of 4Ks, even an ace as well from Kiwi, which was like a way to close out the game. I'm pretty sure. A 1 4K from Bunt, and then a couple 4Ks. Moj at the captain, Mr. Fallen, and Kiwi, all of them having 1 apiece. And 1v3 clutches as well from at the captain, and 2 from Mr. Fallen. I'm pretty sure those 2 came from Lotus, but I might be wrong. Now, next one. The first team to actually make it to the playoffs in Group B was Evil Geniuses. Yeah, I have a lot to say about mainly one player in DRX. Does anyone kind of... Okay, here's a question to all of you. Do you guys remember Hyuni? Remember, like, the Korean jet god himself? Everyone was praising Hyuni to have, like, an amazing, like, to be, like, the next, like, best thing. And then he kind of just fell off because New Term, like, treated him badly or something because of, like, role issues. This one kind of game with Fox9, but... not really role issues, just how he's been performing. I remember when Fox9 was hyped up as hell as the next Korean Jet Protege. Now watching him, he had like maybe like 1 good game, which was like his like first game in VCT in League, like over in the Pacific League, and that's really about it. I mean, he's been kind of just forgetful. I'm sorry to say it, but like I'm not too sure about Fox9. Obviously, more experience will be needed, obviously, but I'm a bit iffy still on Fox9. I still think they should have Zest full in lineup full time in my opinion, but it is what it is, I guess. Demon 1, Yeah, he showed up. Obviously in the last game, what VG played, which was, what was it, Foot? He didn't really show up there, but here he showed up, including Jolgimo, Boostio as well. Fracture 13-5, which was EG's pick, and then 13-9 on the sand, which was DRX's pick, also going to EG. EG has kind of blown me out of the water. I was also expecting EG to make it to the playoffs. I was not expecting EG to make it to the playoffs by winning against DRX. That was a bit of a shocker to me. Performance though, a 1v4 clutch from Jolgimo over sudden EG, a 1v3 clutch as well from Stacks, 2 4Ks from Mako, and 1 4K each for Jolgimo, Ethan, and Demon 1. And for the final match, obviously DRX versus Foot Esports, it was DRX just squeaking out a win against Foot. This was like when they actually had Zest in the lineup, which is completely understandable. They were on the verge of being eliminated from Tokyo. Yeah, I mean, Buzz, he had the game of his life. Kiwi, I feel bad for him. He popped off. He did a great job. It just sucks that obviously Foot had to go home early. But at least they're not going to be in the LCQ. At least they're going to be in Champions, which is pretty nice. 13-9 on Bind went to Foot Esports, and that was actually their pick. And then 13 on Fracture, that was the RX's pick. And then 13-4 on Haven to close out the game. I think they look 10 times better with Zest in the lineup and not Fox 9. I guess because of obviously the amount of experience that these 5 core players have. But I just think that they should just have Zest in the lineup. I won't be surprised if Zest is going to be in the lineup from now on during the playoffs. I would not be surprised about that. I mean, maybe you could have Fox. You could probably have Fox 9 in the maybe for like one map, maybe. But I don't really want to risk it if you're DRX. I'll be honest. I mean, I kind of want Zest to stay in the lineup full time. Shout out to our captain with an ace as well. A 1v3 clutch win for Zest. And a couple 4Ks as well. RB and Buzz, both of them gained 4Ks. Buzz actually gained 2 of them, and Kiwi having 1 for Foot Esports. So, with the group stages out of the way, let's now talk about the playoffs. And the bracket is incredibly juicy, I shall say. The first one, I'm pretty sure. Yes, the first one. No. Well, it's actually, the first one will actually be Loud versus EG. Great match. I'm very excited about that one. Then next will be Team Liquid versus Edward Gaming. Once again, a very juicy game. The next one, finally, NRG versus Fnatic. A very, very juicy game. And Paper Eggs versus DRX. A pretty juicy game, but without something in the lineup, I'm a bit skeptical. I'm a bit scared for Paper Eggs. But we'll see how they go. I'm a bit skeptical still on them. Before I actually end this, I'm actually nearly gonna talk about the Pickems, if I can actually go back there, for God's sakes. Pickems, here we go. How did my Pickems go, you might be wondering. Not great. I have 40 points, which is actually where, most of them are on 25 points. So at least I'm higher than the average, that's good enough. I got basically NRG's run right. I was not expecting Edward Gaming to make it to the playoffs. Yeah. And I was also not expecting EG to win against DRX. Yeah, I mean, if I only just swap them around, then that'd be great. But I'll be having a separate video, obviously, about my playoff Pickems. I may be doing something a bit goofy as well with my other account, but we'll see about that. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time. In the next one, goodbye.